Heyo, Stoic here. Hey, welcome to the Bedrock Guide. Today we're going to be doing a Wither Skeleton Skull review. So we're going to be reviewing 6 different farms by 6 different content creators. And I like each one of these. I wanted to get a good variety. We're going to start with some of the more simplistic ones, and then we're going to make our way into more complicated ones that might take a little bit more work or ingenuity to make sure everything is successful. I've included some popular ones as well with some tips on how to try to make them a little bit better. And yeah, each one of these are different, and hopefully they'll work for the world that you've got moving forward. All right, our first one is by Gene Pick, and this one is just a little safer than usually just running into another fortress and starting to kill anything that moves. The idea is that you slab off what you can. This is really, I did a lot of extra slabbing just to help the farm rates the best I could. And you just trap your monsters, and then when they spawn in, you do this. The slabbing is really for the gas. The gas will spawn anywhere they want as long as there's a spawnable spot. And you just safely, everything's trapped. The blazes can't get out. They might float up a little bit when you're hitting them, and they might shoot at you, but you're still relatively safe. I even slabbed off kind of some of these other areas. You can see some of the spawns are up there now, but you can get a nice area figured out and just kind of go back and forth, picking up all these bad guys in a really safe manner, and that's really important. It does take a lot of time to do this. It's very, very grindy. Let's see, what are our rates here? I was able to get 53 skulls in an hour. That was kind of on average there. But I was able to pull a whole lot of stuff. So with looting 3, you can get a whole bunch of good stuff here. And yeah, this is a decent farm, especially if you don't want to go complicated. You just want to come out here and get a couple of skulls. You're not really in the business of getting a whole bunch of beacons. This can be nice. And yeah, I like it. All right, you're going to start seeing the same area over and over again, only because it's just a nice fortress to be a part of, and it makes it easy to figure out what everything is. So I just copied the world and made the different farms. It won't really make a difference in rates, but this next one is by JC Plays. This is probably the next easiest thing you can do. And you're really just you're finding a spawn point, which is one of these copper blocks right in there. You can see it. And when we step away into our AFK position, the monster will get pushed. You can see, we'll break this real quick. There's glass. There's a 1 block gap above it. Glass will push everything into this trident killer down below. And you just start collecting. So you'll get XP when you want to walk over there and get it. And then you can collect whatever loot you've gotten. Now, because you've now limited this down to 1 spawn point, the rates get really low, and it's really not that great. So in an hour, I was able to pull this in. It's AFKable, so I went AFK for an hour, and it was, if you're okay with doing it for a long time, it's advertised as infinite. Yeah, sure, if you've got an infinite time, you can get infinite anything. But you've got 8 skulls here, a little bit of everything else, and it was nice. And it's pretty simple. It's down there in the simplicity rating. Not doing ratings in this, is just kind of going up from this point in difficulty. But if we just sit here and you wait, I've got all the other spawn points blocked off. So there's only 1 spot this place could spawn. And hopefully it'll do it soon. There we go. It got pushed into our trap. And now you can see we've got 1, 2, 3 in here. With looting 3 sword, you might be able to get a skull out of one of these, but it was pretty rare when it happened, and you just let your trident do the work. All right, this next one is by James, and this one you leave all your spawn points open, and you try to draw them into a portal manually by yourself. Now, in his video, he says don't slab anything, which is true. You don't have to. You can just run around in the Nether Fortress and just have everything. Oh, geez. You can have everything just spawn naturally and just try to get to you. You can see that blaze just disappeared. Everything's being drawn into this one. I've got this one right here. It's blocked off. Nothing can get through. This is the one I use to get to the overworld. You can put these pretty close as long as you line them up. But the idea here is that you are just drawing in all of these. I put this up here I wanted to get this to work really well. You can see he'll chase you, and then boop, all the way through the portal. We'll go through 2. Once you've done that, you've collected a whole bunch of these. And I did this for 10 minutes, and because I was just worried that all the monsters I was drawing in was going to lag out the world. And it did. It didn't lag it out entirely. It just lagged it out. You can see everything's dropping in here. All of our monsters are coming in. I had, the time I did for 10 minutes, there must have been 200 monsters down there. But the idea here is you get your flint. I'm in survival, so let's try that again. Ahead of time, I had a creeper get charged up and drew it in here. And you can kind of maybe see it. We're gonna try to light it up. With a lot of monsters, it gets really tough to do. But you blow everything up, and you can see all the skulls floating around. It's awesome. This is the farm. You draw monsters into a portal, and then you blow them up. And you're guaranteed to get a whole bunch of skulls just from just the 8 skeletons we drew in. We got 8 skulls. So there's a little bit of time and luck that goes along with getting the creeper all charged up. And then it's kind of dangerous on that side when you're drawing monsters in, but it does get pretty laggy in here, and then you got to repair everything. So maybe you do some obsidian. Getting to charge creepers is always difficult unless you got a creeper farm nearby. You can automate everything. But yeah, but this one, I was able to get 38 skulls in 10 minutes, and it was just an absurd amount of monsters. The drawback is that you don't get any of the rods, bones, anything, because you're blowing everything up with the creeper, charged creeper. So yeah, this one's a nice one. If you do want to do very little to do it, it is a lot more dangerous. You can get really laggy, and the creeper's hard to get, but you can get a lot of stuff really quick. So let's get to the next one. All right, here we go. And this is the 4th one. This one was originally made by RS Hunter Gaming. Yep. And it was made popular by Oink Oink. It really took off after that. In fact, so much so, everyone makes this video, and everyone uses almost the same thumbnail every single time. But anyways, RS Hunter Gaming made this one. The idea here is that you're using a piglin to aggro in the wither skeletons, because the wither skeletons hate them, so they'll run right at them. They don't care about the portal, and so they'll run right into the portal. Now, one of the issues here is you have to find a piglin. So if you're not anywhere near an area that you can, maybe there's some up here, it's possible. Yeah, it's probably possible. That probably wouldn't be too bad on this farm, but if you're surrounded by not a lot of options, finding one of these piglins is going to be part of the problem. I guess you could stand in here too if you wanted to, but then you would be getting shot by everything. But again, the idea here is that you've got spawn points nearby, crossroads, and you just hang out up here in your AFK position. I did this up here because I can maximize the close spots for spawning. But you really want your wither skeletons not to run that way, but to run this way. And you're kind of limited on your rates by how often things walk towards your portal. So blazes just hang out. They don't do anything. Zombie pigmen, they'll walk in sometimes, which is good because then it resets your mob cap. But here you go. Here's one wither skeleton. He says, there's a piglin. I'm going to run in there. So ultimately, over time, you're going to start gathering up a lot of mobs. They'll all make their way in. I went AFK for 30 minutes, and I thought I got pretty lucky, honestly. A lot of them were spawning pretty close. You could probably knock off some of these further spawn points, maybe block things off so that they don't have a choice but to stay near your portal and then somehow manage to make their way into it. You can see I'm getting some blazes too now. But yeah, this one I got 11 skulls in 30 minutes. So we can make our way through the portal here. This is my safe portal, which drops me not too far away from it. But you can see monsters are dropping in already. But I didn't have a whole lot of wither skeletons. Maybe that's from a little earlier. But the idea here is there's no trident killer in the tutorial. You could probably add one. You could really get things going here. But you can just start knocking away at them. And yeah, like I said, I only got 11 skulls from this first round. I don't know if I've got a separate chest here, but no. No, you can start collecting, but that's the idea. It's a lot safer than the previous tutorial we looked at, in my opinion. But yeah, this one is definitely a good one as well. But it is just as slow as JC plays when it comes down to it. But you are getting some other loot as well. All right, here's the next one. It is by me, Stoic Epoch. Yep, this is the minecart conveyor. We got 7 locations figured out. AFK position over here. Nice big open area so that I don't have to slab off more than I have to. Target blocks to turn these minecarts on and off. Right now they're off, so things get trapped automatically, which is pretty cool. But you can see they all get filtered down into the north direction into this trident killer over here. And then we just start collecting all of the goodies from this farm. So if we turn this back on, you can see everything's racing back into the trident killer and everything will get killed. And so from we're stepping up a notch, a lot more redstone on this one to make things work. If you've got an iron farm, these mine cards aren't anything. They're cheap, especially with an iron farm. But anyways, yeah, this one's nice. I was able to pull in about 100. It's still about 100. And it might depend on, your luck of the trident killer killing things, and you're looting 3 as well, and your kind of spawn. It might depend on what biome you're in as well. Getting rid of magma cubes would be nice. But yeah, this one is a good one. It's just fun to build, and it's fun to watch. I mean, honestly, you just hit this button and everything gets trapped, and then you just let them go. Let's see. Let's just do it. It almost looks like I'm hacking the game, but yeah, this one's fun. So let's move on to the next one. It's probably the more complicated one coming up, but it is the most profitable. All right, this next one is by Silent Whisper. Yep, he made the list this time. Everyone says he's got the best farms. He does have some really great stuff out there. In this case, this is probably the most powerful one, honestly. It is probably the most expert level farm, though. So just be aware of that. So for this farm, you are slabbing off pretty much everything you can in the immediate area. You don't want anything else spawning except for the spawn points right here next to your portals. And I'm going to move away just a little bit to see if we can get some of these monsters just to blip in. Yeah, you can see them kind of blipping in. We were able to find the spawn points. As soon as they come in, they get rocked right into this portal. And this is I think a 1.19 update where monsters can now spawn right next to a portal, because usually the light level from a portal is too much and they won't spawn, but now they can. And so if you get the spot right, they'll just jump right in. And I've been here way too long, in my opinion, although I haven't been in the right AFK position. My AFK position's up there to maximize the number of spawns I go through. But you can see I got to fly all the way here. I got to be far enough away because we just got so many portals. And we'll come up here. Am I going the right direction? Yep, I think it's this way. You have to kind of stage this a little bit. You can see the farm out there in the distance, and all the monsters are there. But this little pillar here is just outside of the range of this. So if you were to just fly up there, all the monsters would disappear because there's another portal on that side. So what we have to do is be kind of tricky. I think that's the spawn point right there. You got to pearl in, land on the platform, and I'm here now. You can kind of hear all the monsters. I got a lot of the levers on. One of the problems is, just clicking on the right levers to make sure monsters are going in the right positions. We can let things down in there for right now. But you can also see that we've got some monsters. Let's turn that off. Yep, turn that off. And I think we got to open one of these up. Maybe it's this one. Yep, pushing them down in. So you always read the comments on any tutorial, read them through, sort them by the newest stuff, because an update could change the entire farm. When I didn't do that, unfortunately. But my portal should have been facing a different direction. It should be, so you can't see the portal, and it should be facing this way. So this whole thing should be rotated by 90 degrees. And that's kind of a newer thing, which causes all of this filtering to not actually work. So what Silent has done is he's made it so that if it's not a wither skeleton, it comes down to the trident killer. That way you can, sit here, get all the goodies and loot. but all the wither skeletons will fall down into this cage, and you can kind of see them here. Let me get a torch. This will work too. Nice. You can see we've got our wither skeletons just hanging out right here. And if there's a whole bunch of them here, you'll know it. It's nice too. You can, if you bring in a potion of, I think it's healing, then you can hit them with that, or maybe it's harm. I can't remember which one it is. I always mix it up. Depends on what kind of monster it is. But these will take damage, and then once you roll in one of these creepers, then you can just light them up and get just a ton of skulls. And I did AFK for 2 minutes in the nether, and then I came over here, curled over here, got everything set up. Of course, I'm in creative. This makes it so much easier. But in 2 minutes, I was able to get 57 skulls, and you can see this is not that different from some of the other ones that we've seen. There's no magic here. We're just going to roll this guy in. Don't need a hopper, but we're just going to push this one in here. Part of the problem is getting a creeper up high over here and then charging it up. So you got to wait for a lot of conditions to be right. You can come over here, get this thing going, and it should be enough to knock everything out. Of course, this one falls down too. But we did get a couple of skulls just from the ones that were here. And yeah, this is the farm. It's more complicated. I love the filtering idea of it. Make sure you got the orientation right. It's definitely expert level. But if you want to get a whole bunch of skulls, this is what you need, expert level. But if you just need a couple things, look at the stuff at the beginning of this video. These are all wonderful farms, in my opinion, and they can work for you in whatever capacity you want. All right, thanks everyone for joining me on this review. Every one of these content creators is fantastic. I really enjoy watching what they come up with. Everyone's so creative, and each one of these farms is a little different. I say noob, I say novice, I say expert. They're all a little different, and you can use each one of them to your advantage. Or if you just need a little, you can get a little. If you want a lot, you can get a lot. If you want AFK, you can go AFK. If you want to grind it out, you can grind it out. There's so many options here for you. I'll leave the best one up to you as far as your opinion. But yeah, again, thanks for joining me, and hopefully I can come up with some more reviews for you. So thanks everyone. Bye-bye.